The possibility to present the extension of Kunstmuseum, and maybe if there's time, I think my presentation is a bit long, or I can also 20 minutes, so it's probably only Kunstmuseum and not Landesmuseum. Okay, so I want to explain the most important discussions we had on the Kunstmuseum extension according to urbanism, the relationship to the existing building, as you already mentioned, and then also the physical presence, which for us is very, very important, of the exhibition spaces themselves. Yeah. Okay, so here we see the plan of the city, and you see there is a lot of different structures. We have a medieval structure here of row houses, a very old street of Basel. Then we have 18th, 19th century bourgeois houses here. And this is a very important traffic connection going over the Rhine. And this is the Wettstein Bridge, for those who know Basel. And then, of course, we have the main building. This is the Kunstmuseum. And then we have some 1670s office buildings. And where they all meet, all these structures, this is where the new Kunstmuseum is placed. And here you see the same in the 1 to 500 model. So we have the river, we have the Rhine, we have the bridge. This is the extension. This is the main building. Here you have the row house structure. And these are the office blocks. And what we tried with placing the volume and how we formed the volume, we understood it as a solitaire, which is very much connected to the surrounded buildings, but also makes a facade towards the city. And we did this by folding it back, the main facade. So there is a little entrance here, although the main entrance is through the main building. So it is folded back, and this makes a little square in front. And it also makes upright proportions of this facade, which give a kind of monumentality towards the city. Because if not, then it would be almost a square. And so it is very much, how you say, pregnant. Pregnant, you don't say present, yes. Thank you. So this is another model picture, and here you see this folding back and the little square. And then this is aligned with the arcades of the main Kunstmuseum, of the main building. So now, this is the view towards this street. And as you see, this half of the facade is aligned, but the other half, because it's folded back and the angle is changing, makes the facade towards the street. And then this view is from here, in this direction. And then from here it appears the most as a solitaire volume. It has a 90-degree angle here, which is according to the 60s, 70s building, which follows more an open plan. So there is really a big gap between the houses, but they're still connected to each other. And then we have the view towards this medieval structure, which is here. And because of the topography of the street, and because of this folding back, actually from this view it has the scale of the medieval houses. So here we have the rooftop plan of the main building and then the extension. And the main building is very classical. It is very simple. It has a very clear structure. So we have little cabinets connected to each other by an enfilade going all around the courtyard. And the extension does the same. So we have rectangular cabinets, much bigger than in the old building, rectangular, aligned with the streets, and in between they create this void, and in this void we have the monumental main staircase, which gives access to all the stories. it is the same in the floors underneath. The only difference is we have top lights in the uppermost floor, and then we have windows in the existing building and also in the extension for daylight, and they give connection to the city. So you have a view while you're moving through the museum. So this is the staircase. It is modeled as the existing staircase in the main building. So it is done with a marble from Carrara, and it has a very rough plaster with a cooler gray color than the existing staircase. And this brings you through the whole museum. And we have a top light with a 4.5 diameter, which also refers to the existing building. So this is the main staircase in the existing building. It's a limestone staircase, limestone cladded parapets, and you see here there is also a skylight. So we do not believe in building white cube museums. So we use the very present oak floor, and we have concrete ceilings, you see here. We have massive walls. They are load-bearing. It is a concrete structure. And there is a render of grey plaster, which is shown in the door reveals and also for the windows. And we have also a marble door sill. And then this is a plasterboard of 10 centimeters, which is the background then for the pictures. So this structure will always, so no matter what kind of exhibition, this structure will always be visible. The floor is an industrial technique, so it is oak, and the joints are a cement wood mixture. And we found that in ateliers in the existing Kunstmuseum, but in a much smaller scale. And we adapted it, made it bigger, and also bigger joints. And the joints are not alternating. So this creates a very strong pattern of lines, which we think is very nice for the space. And as the floor is quite strong, and there were a lot of discussions about it, I think not every artist was very happy about the floor. But for me personally, I think the piece of art benefits by this floor, because the absence of color in this piece is so much stronger because the floor has such a warm brown color. And then here you see the ceilings. These are prefabricated concrete elements, sandblasted, which overspan the space, and they show that the walls are carrying. So that they show the connection between the tectonic of the ceiling together with the walls. And they give a direction to the space. And there's a lot of technical elements inside this. So they make everything, like light and electricity and heating and cooling and everything. They're very smart. And then in the uppermost floor, they also built a skylight. So then they're much higher, and built the skylights. And this is a view of the cabinet in the main building. So you see there is a reference. So there's also wooden floor, and there's also these very marked doorways, and you see the skylight of these spaces. So as you mentioned, the building is quite closed. So it was never meant that the main entrance is changing to the new building and to the new house. So it is still in the existing one. So this is the arcade zone, and this is the courtyard. You have a foyer, and then here there is a new staircase which brings you to the basement, and the two buildings are connected underneath the street. So you see here, this is the basement floor plan, this is the stair. And then this connection, this is not just a small, narrow passage. The museum starts here. So this is the first cabinet. The exhibition starts exactly at this point. So it's not about going down and being in the cellar, going up again, and then the museum starts. It starts here. And this was one of the most difficult things to solve. And then it leads to a multifunctional space here, which can be foyer, auditorium, also a cabinet for exhibitions. And then the staircase, the main staircase starts here on this floor. And then in the back, there is a small courtyard, which brings daylight and a picturesque view inside this basement floor. And this is done because, as we did for the main facade, this folding back, we also did in the back. And therefore we could do this stair here, and really a little small courtyard. But I think it brings a lot of quality to this connection. So the same in the section. So this is the courtyard, this is the stair, this is this first gallery, the multifunctional space, and then the staircase, and here you see the courtyard. And in pictures, so this is the view from the street, the courtyard of the Kunstmuseum, the main building, and then the hall with this new connection to the staircase, which starts here. And this is the first space underneath the street. And this is the auditorium space. And there are very big pieces of art in this huge space. And then here, this is the starting of the main stair. So this is a bit another picture of the old building. So you see the limestone steps and this cladding in limestone. Sorry, wrong direction. And we have the same in this monumental staircase. So this is the marble, and also very, how you say, difficultly handcrafted, how you say, handwerklich, handcraft-wise, very difficult to do this. The round edges and these shapes, really nicely done. And we combined these materials, which refer very much to the old part of the Kunstmuseum, with galvanized steel claddings. And of course, they are more known from industrial buildings, technical elements. But although they match perfectly the color of the marble and also the structure of the marble. And we found that very interesting to combine these two. And by combining materials which refer to totally different typologies, centuries, we could create a unique architectural language for the extension. So this is the facade of Kunstmuseum. So also for the facade, there is a strong relationship between both buildings. So we have a natural stone-cladded facade with a very strong horizontal structure. So we have these stripes, and then of course there's a classical order. We have kind of a base, a middle part, and then the upper part, which is different. And for the new building, Everything is done with brick, but the brick has a gradient of shades of gray. So we start with a very dark gray in the bottom, and then it's getting lighter to the top. And it also has a strong horizontal structure because the brick is just 4 centimeters high. And then it even cantilevers 1 centimeter every second layer to give a strong horizontal order to the new facade, as you see here. So it's just a wall, nothing else. It's massive, it's load-bearing, there are no joints. So it really appears like a wall. And it's not just a cladding. And that was very important for us. And thanks to our engineers, it was possible to do the construction like this. And then also from the outside, it is very simple. It is just a wall. There are doors and windows, and that's it. So everyone understands this architecture. It is very archaic, it is very elemental. There's just nothing special about it. It could be there since ever, kind of. So it doesn't look really new. It looks like being there for ages. But there's one more element which maybe makes it the piece of today. So we added a frieze in the upper part, where the stones cantilever 2 centimeters instead of 1. And we added some LED stripes, which bring light into this facade. And here you see the section. So this is the LED stripe, and it illuminates this arc. So from down on the street, you don't see the technical element, you just see the light or the shadow if there is no light. And this is how it looks. So this makes this archaic piece of architecture a piece of today, and this makes it possible to communicate through the museum, through the facade with the public. So usually they write the news exhibition, which is on. And what I like the best is during daytime, you don't understand that this is light. There are people asking me, what do you do if you change the exhibition and you have to change the facade? Because it looks like it is done in brick. And this is really beautiful.